I believe that you run from love. I believe that Dr. Cheyanne Bryant is quite possibly the same personality type as Nick Cannon and Cam Newton. I believe that all three of you are serial monogamous with narcissistic tendencies.
Hey guys, so look, there are no elevators to success. Success looks like this. You walk up the stairs, you walk up the mountain, you continue to walk up the mountain, everything falls, you start all over again.
There are no shortcuts to success, but somehow, Cheyanne Bryant managed to present herself as a doctor without having the proper degrees or qualifications. DL Hughley has strongly criticized her, accusing her of taking advantage of innocent women who trusted her advice. While Cheyanne built her image as an internet doctor, anyone who questioned her background or credentials was quickly dismissed. Now, her qualifications have come under serious scrutiny, with critics claiming she gave potentially dangerous advice to thousands of black women while making money from her platform. DL Hughley believes the warning signs were there from the beginning and says her convincing claims helped her maintain that image for so long.
Well, I can't believe that people are asking to see everybody. When you go to a doctor's office, somebody, if they're working with your mind or your body, if they're a mechanic, they show you on the wall. They see you,
yeah, you right.
You're not gonna walk in somebody and they want to deride, nigga. If you like, so I think, but I do think it's disingenuous to believe that they ask people if you're dealing with somebody's mind, if you're dealing with somebody's physical well-being. You should be trained for it.
It's crazy to think that Cheyanne Bryant may have pulled off one of the longest-running grifts in the black community, especially when some of her actions seem to go against what she teaches. For some context, Cheyanne Bryant appeared on the Joe Budden podcast a few weeks ago and spoke about several personal topics, including her relationship status. During the conversation, she unexpectedly shared a small but interesting detail about her career, which quickly caught people's attention and sparked more questions about her story.
The therapist, I started off as a marriage, family, and child therapist about 18 years ago. Before I obtained my doctorate degree in counseling psychology. Once I became a doctor of psychology, I transitioned from a therapist to a psychology expert in private practice. And so I no longer practice under a license. I'm in private practice.
You're making all the money now.
That's what I'm saying. And that's what people don't understand, right? So just to educate some folks a little bit, a license is really only needed so you can bill insurance. And let me go a step further. Majority of people who know that in order to bill insurance as a therapist or a physician or a psychologist, psychiatrist, you have to diagnose.
Okay.
Most people don't want to have a diagnosis on their record. So what do they rather do?
Now, this really feels like a major backtrack. Over the past 2 years, Cheyanne Bryant quickly became a popular internet personality and presented herself as a doctor of psychology. She claimed that she had earned 6 degrees, including 3 doctorates and a master's degree. Her reputation grew even more as she built a career giving advice online and became known as a kind of street therapist. Her growing influence eventually helped her become president of an NAACP branch. However, people have recently started questioning her story and qualifications. If Cheyanne was giving therapy-style advice without the proper license, many are now wondering whether she was actually qualified to offer that guidance in the first place. That has also raised questions about why she decided to speak out and make a confession now. Some people have wondered if she believed someone was about to expose her, so she chose to address the situation before the story got out. Cheyanne appeared on The Breakfast Club to explain her side and respond to the doubts surrounding her education. She said that she earned her doctorate from Argosy University, which later closed after filing for bankruptcy. According to her, she cannot access her original certificate because of the school's closure. She also claimed that requesting a refund would cause her course credits to be canceled.
I went to a school, Argosy University, completed an entire program. I went back online to get my official transcripts because I was applying to a law school many years ago to be a professor there. And I had to provide my transcripts, right, to get hired. And I went to contact the school and say, hey, I need my official transcripts. I need my entire thing. And there was no school. I was like, okay, I'm confused. I Google, it says this school has been shut down. I said, oh, well, they got to have records. I mean, they were accredited when I attended the school. They were accredited when I finished the program. I go and look, there is a third party that has the records. Why I contact the third party? That third party only holds records for 2 years.
How convenient is this situation for Cheyanne Bryant? As soon as people began questioning her background and calling her out, she reportedly claimed that she attended a university that had already shut down. At first, that might sound like a way to make the questions disappear. If the school no longer existed, people might assume there was no way to check her educational history. But that is where things get interesting. According to the claims being discussed, records from Argosy University can reportedly still be accessed through online portals, and transcripts may also be available through parchment. Yet people searching for proof of Cheyanne Bryant's doctorate have reportedly struggled to find any record connected to her. That has naturally raised even more questions about her educational claims. And putting the doctorate aside for a moment, earning a college degree, especially reaching the doctoral level, is a major accomplishment for many people. Usually, someone who reaches that point has plenty of evidence of the achievement, whether it is graduation photos, academic records, a dissertation, or references to the professors who supervised their research. So if Cheyanne was simply too busy to take graduation pictures, people may still wonder about everything else. Where is the dissertation? Where are the academic records? Who supervised her research? Some supporters have argued that she does not need a formal degree to describe herself as a psychology expert. Others believe the criticism is unfair and that the public helped build her reputation in the first place. Still, these unanswered questions continue to fuel the controversy surrounding her academic background.
Why are you all so obsessed about Cheyanne Bryant? Like, okay, she lied. I can see if she lied and harmed people. She was on my podcast and she was brilliant. We live in a world where we act like credentials is what determines somebody's effectiveness across the board. And in some respects, it is absolutely necessary. And in her respect, it actually wasn't necessary for her to do the work that she does. That being said, I just don't care. She was on my podcast and she was incredible. I don't care. There are also people who call themselves doctor when they get an honorary doctorate, and I don't think that's much different. Maya Angelou was walking around calling herself Dr. Maya Angelou.
Y'all made her. You made her. You made her who she is. All her millions of followers, her #1 book, selling book, her trips on her yacht and all of that. You all pay for that.
But DL Hughley is not buying any of it. She believes there are serious questions surrounding Cheyanne Bryant's claims, especially after several stories about her past were reportedly challenged or disproved. Despite the criticism, Cheyanne recently appeared on a podcast and continued to stand by her version of events. She spoke confidently about the things she says she accomplished at a very young age. According to Cheyanne, she bought her first house when she was only 19 years old. She also claimed that she owned 3 retail stores on Melrose and even had her own handbag brand called Cheyanne Nicole Bags. These claims have only added more attention to the controversy.
I was winning the bread. I was paying the majority of the bills, and I was in school with 26 units a semester. I was running an entire mobile legal company that I owned. So I was moving and shaking. And
at 21 years old, you were doing that?
At 21, I bought my first house at 19 years old.
What?
Bought my
in
first
LA?
house at 19 in the city of Long Beach, in North Long Beach.
Let's go.
I bought a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, and then built a whole loft in the backyard and rented the whole thing out and moved in with him. Closer to my retail store that I had. I had 3 retail stores on Melrose. You know Melrose?
Yes.
Yeah, 3 retail stores. I was actually, I have to brag about this, y'all. I was the first, because I loved it.
Yes.
I was the first and youngest Black woman to ever own a store on Melrose.
People are now asking a very simple question: where are the receipts? According to the claims being discussed, Cheyanne was supposedly running a business, paying bills, taking 26 credits in school, owning a home, and even working as a landlord, all while she was only around 19 to 21 years old. That is a lot for anyone to manage at the same time. Anyone who has taken a heavy course load in college or tried to operate a serious business knows how demanding those responsibilities can be. When you add property ownership, rent collection, and other financial responsibilities on top of that, the story becomes even harder for people to understand. The questions became even louder when internet investigators started looking for proof of the businesses Cheyanne reportedly operated. One of the claims involved a handbag line called Cheyanne Nicole. However, people searching online say they could not find clear evidence that the brand existed. That raised more questions because Melrose in Los Angeles has long been known as an important shopping and fashion area, especially during the early 2000s. If Cheyanne really had 3 stores there and was one of the youngest black women to accomplish that, people would naturally expect to find some kind of record, photograph, advertisement, article, or other trace of those businesses. Yet critics say they found nothing that clearly connected her to those stores. Her educational background has also become part of the controversy. The information being discussed suggests that the degree she currently has is in apparel and fashion from California State University, Northridge. That appears to be different from the psychology and Pan-African Studies degree she has allegedly claimed in the past. Because of that difference, critics have been demanding supporting documents. They want to see a diploma, academic transcript, dissertation, or other official records that could confirm the claims. They also want evidence of the businesses she says she operated. Cheyanne's response, according to the discussion, has essentially been that she does not have to prove anything to anyone. But that answer has not satisfied her critics. When someone builds a public career around giving advice, education, and professional guidance, people are naturally going to question their background when inconsistencies appear. This is especially true when those claims become an important part of their public image. DL Hughley has also criticized Cheyanne and accused her of taking over a space that other black therapists had already been working in. The criticism suggests that she often appeared on platforms where she would not face serious challenges or detailed questions about her qualifications. Instead of having conversations with other black or female mental health professionals, she was frequently invited onto major podcasts and entertainment platforms where she could present her ideas without much pushback. She appeared alongside well-known personalities such as Shannon Sharpe, Cam Newton, Joe Budden, and The Breakfast Club. Critics argue that some of these platforms may not always be equipped to challenge complicated conversations about psychology, gender, and sexuality. That can create an environment where someone can deliver general advice with confidence and quickly be viewed as an expert. Her appearance and personality have also been mentioned as factors in the way audiences respond to her. Critics believe that her beauty and confident presentation may have helped her gain attention and credibility. Some men may be more willing to listen to her, while some women may place her on a pedestal and accept her advice without questioning it. Whether or not that criticism is fair, it highlights a bigger issue. People should evaluate professional claims based on evidence and qualifications rather than appearance, popularity, or confidence. Cheyanne has reportedly encouraged people to live honestly, take responsibility for their choices, and confront their personal struggles. She has spoken publicly about mental health, trauma, narcissism, and other serious issues. That is why the allegations surrounding her own background have become so controversial. Critics are asking how someone can guide others through these difficult problems if there are unresolved questions about their own statements and qualifications. The controversy has also grown because, instead of stepping back and addressing every concern directly, Cheyanne is accused of continuing to defend her position. To her critics, doubling down while questions remain unanswered makes the situation even more troubling. When someone presents themselves as a mental health professional, honesty and transparency are especially important because vulnerable people may rely heavily on their advice. At the same time, Cheyanne's website reportedly lists many of her services at relatively affordable prices. She has explained that she intentionally keeps her prices lower so she can work with people from low-income communities who may already feel uncomfortable or distrustful of traditional institutions. Her goal, she says, is to provide support to people who are looking for someone they can trust. That part of her mission may be meaningful to many people. However, the larger controversy shows why qualifications, transparency, and accountability matter. When a person works in a field involving people's mental and emotional well-being, the public has a right to ask reasonable questions about their background. The debate surrounding Cheyanne is no longer just about internet rumors. It is also about trust, credibility, and whether someone who gives serious advice is being completely honest about the experience and education behind their public image.
Okay.
Most people don't want to have a diagnosis on their record. So what do they rather do? Pay out of pocket.
That's what I
And
do.
so when I realized that, I thought, well, okay, it may create a gap within our community, our Black community, who can't afford health care or afford mental health services. But it also is a way that, as a therapist, two things: you can obviously make what you deserve, because therapy is real. We're giving everything we have in there. And we're unpacking shit, and we're helping you process through things. So it's not us sitting there, well, if you're an effective therapist, saying, tell me more.
Cheyanne's entire business operation has been described by some people as feeling more like a multi-level marketing scheme than a traditional mental health service. While it can be easy to overlook the seriousness of mental health concerns, the reality is that people are paying real money for the help they believe they are receiving. One person shared their experience with Dr. Bryant and explained that they originally believed she was a woman and family therapist. At the time, their regular therapist was unavailable, and they specifically wanted to speak with another Black woman who could offer professional guidance. They had also liked some of the advice Cheyanne had shared publicly, so they decided to book an appointment. However, the experience did not turn out the way they expected. During the first session, they said they were never asked basic intake questions about their background or situation. They also said they did not sign any paperwork or complete any forms. Instead, the conversation reportedly felt more like talking casually with a friend who was giving personal advice. According to the person, much of the discussion focused on Cheyanne's own relationships and how she viewed herself instead of understanding what the client was personally dealing with. Because of that experience, they decided not to schedule another appointment. At the time, the person was struggling with anxiety connected to PTSD and needed practical tools to cope. They said the conversation left them feeling worse and contributed to a period of depression. Another person claimed they paid $300 for a 1-hour session, only to be told they were low vibrational. Their anxiety and PTSD were reportedly triggered so badly that they had to wait until their licensed therapist became available.
Dr. Cheyanne Bryant is committing wire fraud, in my opinion. Drop the doctor or provide proof, because what you're doing is wire fraud. And each instance is punishable by up to 20 years in federal prison. And an instance is not your website. It's not the one website and that's one count. Each time a person hires you because you induced them to by calling yourself a doctor and a psychology expert when you are neither of those things, each time someone hired you is a count of wire fraud.
Right now, Cheyanne Bryant seems to be handling the criticism in a way that is making the situation even worse. Many Black women are tired of hearing explanations without seeing real accountability, and they believe it is time for her to take responsibility for the questions surrounding her claims and credentials. I watched Cheyanne Bryant's interview several times, and honestly, some of her answers seemed confusing and inconsistent. At certain points, she appeared to talk around the questions instead of giving clear responses. Her statements seemed to contradict each other, which only created more doubt and frustration among viewers. One detail that also caught my attention was the chain she wore that had "Doc" written on it. Some people online found that ironic, especially while questions about her doctoral credentials are still being discussed. Critics argue that instead of showing off the title, she should provide clear evidence of her academic background and dissertation. Others believe that her social media posts and focus on appearance may be distracting people from the bigger questions. Now, many viewers are asking whether the concerns about her degrees are justified or if warning signs were there all along. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe.